Slurpty-derp, my friends. How are we doing? Thank you to James Mumford for grabbing my vital presets. Thank you to Mike Briggs for commenting. And big ups to Digipax as well for dropping some production gems in my Discord and putting me onto a couple of new free plugins. And today I wanted to do a super quick and easy little bass processing tutorial. A Reese bass that I made for my Vital pack. It's called in my latest pack. I think it's called the Reese of Darkness, and I wanted to show you how you could process like a Vital preset to make it sound even better. So this is how it sounds with no processing. And then I have made it into a slightly more powerful sound with some processing like this. And then just for fun, I created a version with some extra filter movement and added a little beat for a little, bit of extra joy. And a nice little bit of side chaining there with just chopping the audio file. So how did I first do the first processing? Quite simply. So what I did was I made a nice Reese MIDI progression that I enjoyed, and then I bounced it out basically twice. So we've got one version that's going to be the main one, and then one version for the convoluted effect layer. So the main version, we are just going to do a bit of extra saturation to it because I've really enjoyed this one, and I have not really ever used this before. I think it was a new update on the Kilohertz stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's a free one as well. So I think anyone can use this, even if you don't subscribe to Kilohertz or have bought their things. I'm pretty sure it's one of their free ones, and it sounds great. And it's just a simple like saturation distortion module. It doesn't like so much change the harmonics completely, to something completely new, but you can definitely saturate the sound quite nicely. And here is the difference. So with this kind of distortion and saturation, especially on a bass, you always want to make sure that you're not going to disrupt the purity and the power in the low end. And this one did quite a good job at keeping the low end quite nice and powerful. And so there's many different modes. You can draw in your own shape, but sometimes just flicking between the shapes that are provided will probably be adequate enough to find one that works. The foldback one is great, and that sounded great on this Reese bass. Kind of kept the same flavor, but just really boosted the volume a lot, so nice and powerful. So now we move on to the free plugins. So I wanted to do the FX plugins. So I wanted to make an extra layer to sit on top of everything to go with the original. So the first thing I used was one I just downloaded called Codec, which is by, I'll leave a link down below. The company's called Lese, I believe. Like this, Lese. So you can just search for that. They've recently released a free couple of free plugins. I believe there's some other YouTube videos about this topic already as well. I don't personally watch other YouTube music production videos myself, but my Discord crew sometimes update me on what's going on. So Lese, this is cool. This one is degrading the quality, essentially. It's like a bit crusher kind of thing. And I found to have, you can turn the mix up. And I found just by mixing in a bit of that degraded sound, good way to just like really mess up the harmonics so we can make it, different to the original. So that was the first step. Then I went for a convolution classic. Obviously, I don't think this one is free from Kilohertz, but nice bit of tight. Just making it into a completely reverbed layer. And then I've used the sweep, which is again by this Lese, Lese company, which is quite cool. And it's a filter. And puts quite a lot of tension in, and again you can go ahead and go crazy and change the tone of it, it can be quite overwhelming. So I just mixed it in a bit for this layer, you know. I didn't want to go super, you know, it sounds like a riser at this point, you know. Around 20 or 30%, it adds a nice, essentially like a bit of a, almost sounds like a bit of a pitch movement, which is quite cool. And then the only other thing I did after that was obviously to low cut a lot of this nonsense, so it kind of blends with the original a bit better. So nice and powerful, and this secondary layer, I've turned it down a bit as well to make sure it is actually complementing in the background, not completely overriding the foreground. And I was quite happy with the way that they sounded together. It sounds much more powerful than the original. And so as I was happy with that, I simply rendered them out together as a new file on its own, which sounds like this. Well, without the effects, of course. And then just for this part, just for the little fun part at the end, I just did a like preset from Filter Freak 2, which is called the Band Chaser, which is lovely because it has a nice like sweeping down filtered effect. And then I've just mixed off the wet to the dry, so it kind of goes back to the original sound at the end of the 4 bars here. A little bit of processing to take out the stereo in the sides because, yeah, a lot of the times, you know, when I'm creating the basses in Vital, they will be stereoed, and you will have to make sure you mid-side EQ them afterwards. That's just part of the process, really. And with that filter on as well, it sort of took down a bit of the overall volume, so I've just reboosted the volume on the channel again, and that's basically the final result there. But yeah, cool plugins, 3 that I've sort of tasted for the first time. The Shaper, wonderful saturation, nice and powerful. Don't go overboard, I would say, but great way to get the most out of your sound, boost things up nicely. Codec as well. I don't know if it's the sort of thing I'd use like lots and lots and lots, but I mean, sometimes a little bit crusher to mess things up a bit can be useful, for sure. And the Sweep as well. Probably something I would use occasionally. It's got a nice sound to it. It's just that kind of that particular effect is just it can have a very strong you know, character. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you won't. But it's definitely a nice way to change up the harmonics one way or another. And I have a new memory. I don't know what that means. But thank you for watching today. That's just a little bass processing video. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. And much love, my G's. I'll be back soon with some more videos. Feel free to comment down below if you have any video requests as well. Peace out. Much love. Ciao for now.